Good morning.
It is.
Thank you for all that you do. My question is going to be obvious as I start to speak. My question is, why sometimes when I'm really excited, I cry? Like I'm very happy. I knew I was going to be up here. I looked at my watch and it said 11:11, and I was like, okay. And I'm so excited about your work, and I'm excited about my son uses it. He's 15, and he still thinks it's a little crazy out there, but he uses it, and he sees the results of it, so he doesn't know what to call it. And I said, don't call it anything, call it happy. But my question is, sometimes when I get really happy, I cry. Why is that?
This could not have come at a better point of our conversation, because we've been talking about the mix of energy. So when you've got a strong desire and a little bit of resistance, you can feel the resistance. The stronger the desire, the more any resistance will show up. If you've got resistance and there's no desire that's pulling against it, then you don't notice it. But when there's a desire and you focus upon that desire and there is some resistance, you'll feel it. Here's another way of hearing it. Feel the difference between the feeling in the words or the concept of desire. I want that, I desire that, or yearning. Feel how in yearning there's a desire that's being tempered a little bit by a belief that doesn't quite let it flow. And so what's happening is there's some desire that you're not quite ready for, but you're shining the spotlight on the desire, and so the not quite readiness is there. Here's another way of looking at it. Sometimes people cry out of happiness, and that's the way you would describe that, really, mostly. But what it means is you're summoning more than you're quite ready to allow. That's what overwhelming is. Overwhelming is asking for more than I'm quite ready for. It's like our friend was talking about. Sometimes things just go well for him even when he doesn't think he deserves it. It's because he's got negative stuff going on. You do deserve it, but you're only letting it in to the degree that you can let it in. You hear that really clearly, don't
Yes.
you? And so that's why we are so pleased with more of you getting your thoughts around the idea of your vortex is flowing to you, but your reception or readiness to hear it is varying depending upon what your mix of vibrations are. And so as you don't try to do the whole enchilada and get all the way over there, but instead you feel satisfaction about where you are, then you put ease into the equation, which just allows it to incrementally get more and more and more, so that when it does manifest, then it's just the next logical step. Humans, you want to really want something that you don't have, and then all of a sudden get it because you think the surprise and the explosion into it will just be so fantastic. Where how it really works is you're just ready to be ready to be ready, and when it happens, it's no big whoopee, it's just the next logical step. And Esther argued with us about that when she first began realizing it. Abraham, you mean I have to really be ready for it, and if I'm really ready for it, then it doesn't thrill me in that big way, it's just the next logical step? And we say, yeah, that's sort of how it is. You got to be ready to realize it fully, and you are more and more and more in every day. There's just a little hint of just a little bit of not really feeling completely worthy for all the good stuff that comes. And so when something really good comes to you, you just sort of block it just a little bit by that feeling that, do I really deserve this? Should this really be happening to me? And that's what puts the yearning in desire. The contradicted thought is what puts the yearning in desire. Make sense to you?
Yes, it's very exciting. May I ask another question?
Yes.
My mom recently croaked in August, and my husband...
Isn't it nice that everybody knows somebody who's recently croaked?
Well, she was very connected to Source. She was always, I'm a powerful creator, I can make the sun shine. So my question is, I do my meditations every morning. And
all right, now stop for just a moment and realize how your thought turned just a little bit that changed that feeling. Can you describe it in these terms that we've been talking about? What happened conceptually just now?
Well, I talk to her every day, and I think she hears me. But I just wonder why I can't connect. And I know that when Esther lost Jerry, she was working too hard. And I'm trying to soften my expectations. I'm trying to just be like, hey, Mom, I know you're there.
But here's the thing. You have this habit of thought about your mother that your mother isn't now. Your whole belief system and thought about your mother is not really accurate to the vibrational frequency that she is. It's accurate to the vibrational frequency that she was. So when you think about her, you activate within yourself the vibrational frequency that she was, which isn't the vibrational frequency that she is, so you can't really receive her. And then it feels like that. But it gets better and better and better. Finally, we said to Esther, stop looking for Jerry where he was and look for him where he is. Because she kept wanting his human opinions about things, to which he has no more human opinion. He doesn't see the downside of things. Oh, he knows what she wants and where she wants to be, and so he can guide her in those ways. But she had to sort of let go of what she knew he knew. She had to start thinking of him more in terms of Abraham, and she didn't want to. She didn't want Jerry to just become part of the Abraham soup. She already had the Abraham soup. She wanted Jerry to be Jerry. But Jerry is not the Jerry that she remembers, because all resistance left when he made his transition. That's why she doesn't get messages from him like, I buried $100,000 in the backyard. Even though he did.
Okay. I'm looking in the wrong place, or I'm in the wrong state when I'm
But to call
looking.
it wrong isn't a good idea, because you are where you are, and where you are has to be all right, because it's what you've got. It has to be all right that you are where you are, but understanding it is helpful. And then this is why we're doing such a sales job on meditation, because you can't think your way out of some of these things, because the more you try, the more you just think more of the same thoughts that you were thinking. And so your desire keeps growing because of the contrast that you're living, but you don't make any movement because you're trying to think your way out of it. And instead, when you say, I'm not going to think that anymore, you're just thinking it more. And so when you quiet your mind, then you allow what you've been asking for to begin occurring to you in a more powerful way. Esther really had to let go of, she had to almost stop thinking about what had been in order to allow what is now. When somebody makes their transition, most people think that all they've got is memories. No, you have memories. So you have to find a way of letting go of the memories and letting the present tense be more active. And your dearly departed are right smack dab, right in the middle of your vortex, all hot on what you are in the process of allowing yourself to create. They're not looking through the family albums about what's gone by. They're just not. They're eager about what's new with you. And you're often eager about what's new with you too. Esther couldn't figure out why. Someone came and stayed in one of her houses, and while they were there, they knocked over a Czechoslovakian fish that was one of Jerry's favorite things ever. And it broke the tail off of it, and it never looked the same. And Esther took it kind of hard. And then someone else was in another house, and they picked up some coasters that Esther and Jerry had had for years that had pictures of little Kate when she was a little girl in them. And they were heavier than her friend knew, and when she picked them up, they fell and shattered. And Esther couldn't understand, because Esther's not really attached to things. And she knows that she can replace anything easily with something that she likes even more. But some of these things had attachments to Jerry, and so it took her a little while to realize, even though we were saying it to her, because you can't hear what you're not ready to hear, that she was trying to hold those things right where they had been. So it's bad enough that Jerry took off, but at least the stuff that he liked can stay here in my present experience. Yes? No. That's holding yourself someplace different than where you want to be. You see, and so Jerry's still saying, oh good, something to want. Oh good, something to want. Not let's hold everything that we ever had together and let's hold it in this place and let's just keep regurgitating, because that makes you yearn, because you're moving forward. You can't stand still and you can't go back. It's all new in every moment, all new in every moment. And that's what everyone that you once knew who was in physical form now really knows. They're wanting to move forward with you, not back.
So throw out all the tchotchkes.
You don't have to do that. They'll just destroy themselves right before your eyes. No. No. You can look at them now through your new eyes. They will appreciate with you your appreciation of them. But it's a real-time thing. Isn't this pretty? Not wasn't this once pretty when you looked at it through the eyes that you're no longer looking through. Can you hear the difference? Can you feel the difference? We're wanting you to feel the realness, the now timeliness, the now reality of all that is non-physical, and its willingness and desire to come forward with you into your new reality, into your new creation, into what's in the state of becoming. All of us are looking forward. None of us are looking back. None of us who are non-physically focused are looking back. You might tap into a thought form that is, but none of us who are non-physically focused are looking back. We're looking forward, you see. Isn't that nice? This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.